Hello everyone, this is Mark 3, and welcome back to From the Depths. Now we've done a bit of combat refitting, which is just as well because we've now got two enemy fleets heading my way, a strength 40 and a strength 36, so there's fun times ahead, to be sure. But for now, let's run over some of the changes that you can obviously see has taken place to this ship. The first thing, really, is this forward missile system has had its fifth launcher removed, as well as the laser, and the shells have been modified. They now have less guidance on them, but they pack more of a warhead, and they actually have a bit of shelter from incoming fire, which is in the style of this side launching pattern, which is what I was intending. The two side turrets have been upgraded with light alloy armour plating on them. They've had their firing ranges extended, so they can actually fire in all directions now. It means they can actually fire consistently. And they've got these energy shields to help protect the vulnerable and exposed missile racks. That's quite a significant change, that. And next up is this turret system here. The launch that was taken off the forward system has been added to this one. And the missiles have been configured to have a longer range. So it fires more reliably. It is now my longest range weapon, getting close to about 2 kilometers, I believe. And again, light alloy cladding and an energy shield to help protect it. And it's quite nice, I think. Now the final addition, and the biggest, is that the ship has been extended. It's had a couple more magazines added into it on the sides here. And these magazines are dedicated purely to fuel this, which is a side-mounted missile system. I mentioned that those tubes I whacked on in the middle of the fight earlier were something I was planning to include, and this is a finished version. This is a range of about 1.5 kilometers. They're only size 4 missiles, and they arc extremely high into the air before they go flying off towards the target, so they have a bit of a minimum range as well. Now, speaking of, I was actually planning to take that out. Minimum range, take that out, because that means it'll engage aircraft above me, which is one of the primary reasons for it. It's 8 tubes staggered on each side of the ship for a 16 tube launch system, and I don't know, 1.5 kilometers on 1 tank of fuel. That is pretty good, I think. The last thing, really, if I've got time to mention it, it depends on how close they are now. Let's have a look. Yeah, I've got time. Is that there's this over here. This is the very first of my drone ships which I've launched. It doesn't do anything really. It just it floats there and lets me monitor a resource deposit, and that's really all it does. I might build something more sophisticated later, but at the moment it's really just a handful of things. Nothing else. I mean, look, it's only 2,895 resources. That's all. And it's really just a craft which floats high up in the air and lets me monitor things with a very small radar on it, and that's about it. Yeah, complex, isn't it? But really, that thing is not intended for combat. Just about any combat force will destroy it. That kind of thing. Pull that... oh, no, I want that force back in play. It seems I want to split it off from the actual thing. Split it into a new fleet, thank you. Select the pinhead, pull it out of play, and just move it off over this mountain somewhere. Because really, all it's meant to do is let me monitor other resource zones and see if they've got any resources in them or not. But yeah, I've got 2 new fleets coming in. Now, there is something else that I wanted to mention. The question has been put to me about SP settings or something like that because of the number of frames being dropped. I'm not really sure what that means because I was looking around online for it. I didn't find anything. So what I've done is I have searched online trying to find a meaning for it, as I mentioned. I've also gone and updated everything I can find on my system. So the recorder's been updated, the audio system's been updated. I've checked for any Windows updates outstanding. There was one. and I've installed that, but the only remaining update is to upgrade to Windows 10, which I have actually got waiting, but I've not done it yet. I decided I want to wait for a couple of service packs to come out. So I've done that. And then in the game itself, because of the degrading quality I was noticing, I ran into that population? What am I on about? That problem with Space Engineers. So I have run into it before, and I got better quality videos out of Space Engineers when I reduced the resolution settings. So I've actually gone and I've reduced the resolution settings a bit, I've reduced the frame rate a little bit, I've turned off degraded mode completely because the game is now running at 30 FPS, and I've also stepped back the game's resolution by 1 degree. It was recording in 1080p originally, but now it's playing at about 1600 by 920 or something like that, I believe. The next step down in the same ratio settings. I think I'm about ready to start fighting. Am I about ready to start fighting? I think I am. Let's start this fight. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, and it should hopefully make the recordings go a bit smoother, though 15,000 blocks, I am going to keep that for the moment. Now another thing I should point out is because of the extended resource time. Oh yeah, look at that. Unlatch my camera, just go over there. As I said, I've got longer range systems on this thing now, so this should help quite a lot. But I've got the shells coming in from whatever that is. That's not one of the Pendragons. Yeah, that's not a Pendragon, but it is getting kind of torn to pieces pretty quickly. Oh, that's another thing. That vertical launch system I mentioned, it's very fast on launch because it's got the ejector systems in it, but the missiles are actually incredibly slow. It's more of a mortar style weapon. They'll get there in the end, but they won't get there immediately, kind of thing. Why is it running slow now? Is there another explosion going off? No, I think it's because I told it I wanted desired frame rates. But yeah, as you can see, the purpose of this system is it piles in, absolutely hits hard, and the individual missiles are not that strong, but they're just punching straight through it. I can see a fault in the design that I thought I'd corrected, but I did not. But yeah, one volley just tore that ship to shreds. Next volley is... oh, there's something heavier that's getting close to me. I don't like that. Those two died without me even noticing. Well, what's this thing going for me? Whatever it is, it just suffered some serious explosions. So yeah. Wow, for all the updates and things I've done, this thing actually seems to be going a bit slower. I think it's because of the vertical launch system I included. More missiles. I've effectively doubled the number of missiles on my ship, so that's something. Yeah, I'm not happy with this. I think I'm probably going to have to tear out that missile system or downgrade it a bit or something, because it's got all these missiles flying around. They're staying in the air a long time. So that is a bit of a problem. But now they're all homing on that ship over there, which is about to die, I think. But I suspect this is also causing some serious frame drops as well. Looks nice though. Yeah, this is going really slowly. I do not want this many missiles flying around at once. I'm going to have to actually tear out that new system. So it's just a shower of missiles descending on it, really. Yeah, okay, that missile system, I'm definitely going to have to tear it out. It's too slow. Well, maybe not tear it out, but seriously downgrade it. Because I do not want this many missile tubes just firing and filling the sky with projectiles going nowhere. It's a shame, really. It worked really well when I was doing vehicle design testing on it, but when I'm recording and playing like this, it just slows things down so much. Oh yeah, that's probably something else I should mention. Since I'm not sure what the question was that was put to my previous video, my machine is not actually a high-end PC. It's more like, I would call it a mid to low range PC more than anything else. So it's not a beast by any stretch of the imagination. It's, I think there's definitely too many missiles in the air. And they're going to keep flying until they hit 60 seconds as well, so that's another drawback. They've only got a speed setting of 100, so that's why they have such range on a single fuel tank. Let's see, what happened to me? I took a few knocks, it looks like, but the defences on the missile systems have held up okay. Even the forward missile system. My radar dish got blown off again, but to be honest, that might actually be the fault of this missile system, because it actually catches some of them on the radar dish when it launches. So there is that. Now I need to get into its settings pretty quickly. The camera is... Oh, the camera's not configured. It's supposed to be aiming at random blocks. I'm not sure why it's did that. There we go. Okay. Let's try this again, see if it slows down again. Maybe I should increase the speed. Yeah, let's increase the speed of these missiles. Let's whack on... I can take off a warhead. I'll give it an extra fuel tank. As soon as I find it. That's near the top, isn't it? Let's whack on an extra fuel tank on them. Leave them with a single warhead. Random targeting. And increase the thrust to 1,000. So that's all the missiles? Okay. That should do quite a lot for it. But this radar dish needs to be redesigned if this missile system is going to stay in. I want it to stay in because of the shape of it. It looks quite nice. It's a nice bit of stylising that's starting to go on in the ship, which has not been here before. Mainly because of the difficulty in trying to get a functional ship started. But for now I've got this longish range system here. I've got that bombardment system which I've just increased the speed of, so that should mean less projectiles in the air. Quite nice. What have I got coming in now? The next attack group is a Marauder and a bunch of light aircraft. Okay, that's not going to last very long at all. So yeah, let's talk about plans while they get into range. I've drained this resource deposit. It's been giving me a lot of resources. Quite nice. This resource deposit is filled up again. So once I kill them, my plan is to take Locust back around to this resource deposit, drain it, and then move up around this northern section here to clear out the enemies. And then hit this fishing village, whatever it is, on the land here. Because this seems to be one of their bases of operation. It's got a couple of defensive forces and a fortress. So I plan to wipe those out, because that's a strength 36 in that region. I've been handling strength 36 and 40s in these battles. Are they in range? Not quite. Let's pull all out. See, yeah, that's the plan. I'll just kill these guys, move around, get some more resources, clear out some more space, and then I want to try and find a way to the Deepwater Guard's HQ. I think it's along this channel here, but I don't know the map, so that's a bit of a problem. Wow, that's a slow force. Only 3 meters a second, that's really slow. And it's going to be a nighttime fight as well. Okay. They're in range now, so I'm going to start the fight. Battle! Here we go. Locust V3 versus a whole load of enemy light aircraft, it looks like. And it's turned the wrong way again, apparently. But yeah, as you can see, that's what I did to the launch settings on the side turrets, letting them fly like that. Those vertical missiles are doing a lot better. I am getting some slowdown now. Oh, okay, that was a missed launch. And something's blown up already. Yeah, I do need to tear out some of these missile systems, but I've noticed that despite the side ejection, these ones do sometimes clip onto the armour in front of them, so it seems I need to give them more space. That plane's not going to last very long at all. Yep, it's immediately blown to shrapnel. Enemy 2 damaged, AI dead, AI dead. That one's exploded. I think the Marauder's the only ship left there now, actually. Well, that's a lot of damage. I think that's out of the fight. That one seems to be still flying. Unless it's part of that, in which case it's not. Ooh, a Vanguard. Everything's going for the Marauder. That just, yeah. I think the Marauder's about to die very, very quickly. That one's still... That's a flyer in the water. It's getting pummeled down by missiles. And I think this one might be dead. No, it's not quite. Wait, that's not a Vanguard. What is that? It's a little paddle boat. A little paddle boat. Which is being ignored because it's so small. And I think the Marauder's toast now. Unless it's the other one that exploded. No, it's not. Yep, it's the Marauder that's going up. Yep, 2 damage. It's about to spawn out. Now then, I've got a whole volley of missiles heading towards this flyer. I think it got shot out of the air because it's so badly damaged, but it didn't get killed, so it's trying to fight, but now it's getting absolutely pummeled. Yeah. Yep, that's dead. That is impressively dead. And while I wasn't looking, that thing suffered an explosion. I think from the long-range flat launching missiles. Yep, that's dead. Okay, I think that's all done. In fact, that's the Marauder's gone. That's 2 damage. It's about to spawn out. That plane is dead. Everything is dead. Locust is victorious. Huzzah! Though I think that something I could do is take the Locust and tell it not to attack salvage. That way, if something gets absolutely gutted, it's not going to keep drawing missiles. Less missiles is better. Speaking of, I do think I do need to take some of these missiles out. I'll have to see how it does on some following battles, but for now, it is actually time to move on. I've got a good stockpile of resources going on, and I've got this pinhead floating around so I can actually watch the deposit's resource levels. But for now, I'm going to pull that fleet out and get it moving back to this resource deposit and drain it. Why does it have a top speed of 3? Okay, that's not right. It's the stupid needs of going in there and showing the computer what the design can actually do. So yeah, I'll do what I said. I'll move it to the other resource deposit, harvest it, and then move on, start capturing more territory. And I'll see you when I have another fight. Catch you in a bit. What have we got here then? Let's see. Something that's already dead by the looks of it. Yeah, just a little urchin. And it's already dead. Okay, that's not very interesting. Well, I don't know what I expected from a strength 5, but that was definitely not it. Yeah, just... To be honest, the map view shows all it needs to see of this urchin fight. That is an absolute load of impacts on that. One of them just died. And I've got all my high launching missiles targeting the other one as well, which is... yeah. That's dead. That's dead. I think that this fight is pretty much done. Okay, yeah, that's dead. I win! Why is my Locust at 96%? And welcome back. During that little hiatus, I wandered around here. I've taken over 2 more grids of territory. And there wasn't really much there, just a couple of really small ships that died almost instantly, so I won't really be showing much, if at all, of those 2 fights, if they could be called that. But we're back into the recording now because we are now approaching my original target zone, which is, I think, the island of Eriwick Island, yeah. Because this has a strength 36 on it, and it's also got this fishing village, whatever that is, along with 4 guard units. So that's going to be my target, and I'm planning to move in and completely level it. It's the last real defensive position in this area. To be honest, the only damage I've taken in this particular trip is when I blew my own radar dish off. Again. So I've remodeled that, and I'll show you as soon as I drop into the fight. Ah, here comes the defensive fleet. Yep, here we go. Now, I'm going to engage these guys, and as I mentioned earlier, I was planning to switch the radar dish from a horizontal orientation to a vertical position, and that's what I've done. I've done it like this, and the missiles miss it, which is the most important thing, but it's actually got slightly longer range like this as well. Oh hello, they've got missiles. No, not missiles, lasers. Let's unanchor my camera. That's a lot of shells. I need to start moving forwards. Thank you. My radar's already taken a hit. No big loss there. But yeah, I've already knocked something out with my long-range missile fire. So I don't know. Those anti-missile lasers didn't do too well. That's a paddle gun. That's a paddle gun. Oh dear. But it was nearest, so I think it's getting a lot of hits. Yeah, it's being torn to shreds. The other 2 ships are already out of the fight. They're only small. I think that one's a Vanguard by the looks of it from the mass. I don't know what that one even was. It's too badly damaged. The paddle gun is exploding, but the sheer volume of shells that thing kicks out makes it a very dangerous threat. I think it was the source of the anti-missile laser fire as well. Yeah, it's got lasers on it. Yep, that's dead. Completely gutted. So that was the defensive fleet, strength 40, I think. It's dead completely, so because my guns are shut off. Now, it absolutely saturated me with lots of little shells, so I'm kind of curious. Yeah, it's blown this hole in the front. Actually, I can park now, so stop moving. It's blown these holes in the front. I think, yeah, it blew out a crystal farm. Did it do any launcher damage? No, it did not. It didn't manage to hit my launchers, though it did pummel the entire area around and underneath it. I've got some big holes in the front, though nothing that can't be patched up because it's all beams, so that's not so bad. The shells didn't do a thing to my turrets, though, which is good. I saw my radar just take a few knocks, but again, no serious damage. So yeah, I just charged straight head first into a paddle gun and came off the better of the 2. Oh, hello. Hello. I think there's an enemy fleet over there. Oh, is that? No. Oh, that was just the defensive force in this sector. It wasn't actually the fishing village. Okay. I'll be right back as soon as I'm engaged in the village for you. And I am back. This is only a strength 25 though, apparently. That strength 30 was the entire enemy defensive fleet for the sector. But this fishing village appears to have a bunch of houses in it. And an arbalest, whatever that is. So I think it's some kind of fortified tower of some sort. This is my first time attacking an emplacement like this, so I don't really know what to expect. I'll have to see. But those houses I think are going to die really quickly. It's also going to be a nighttime fight, I'm afraid, but that can't be helped. So yeah, let's get this thing started. Begin battle, and let's see what we've got. Well, I hope my cam was in the right area, wouldn't it? Okay, I've got a bunch of houses on the floor, I knew that. One of them's already going up in smoke. And the arbalest is apparently a windmill, which is being targeted by my long-range missiles. Oh wow, this is pretty nice. The windmill's already collapsing though. Yeah. I was expecting some kind of defensive fortification or something like that. Not a village. I should have taken a clue from the name, fishing village, but yeah. This really isn't going to be any kind of threat at all. I would say I feel a little bad about it, but hey, I'm the Locust, I'm the plague of the world, I'm supposed to be consuming everything, so that means I have to include... what's even in this? I have to include defence of the settlements as well. Oh, that's a nice little house, that, which is now getting blown to pieces by missiles. Yeah. Yeah, my missiles are not really intended for this. They're designed for bigger, harder targets, but they're doing okay wrecking all this stuff so far. Though I am actually proceeding at full steam towards the shore, so that might be a concern. Yeah, that entire thing's going down. This house has been kind of gutted. Yeah, I'm just bombarding this peaceful fishing village from the shore, so I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Just come to a halt there. I don't need to get any closer. This thing is just going to kill everything as it is. I guess you could call this the massacre of the deep water fishing village, because there's absolutely nothing shooting back. I really thought this would be a fortified town or something. Ugh. 2 damage, 2 damage. Is this house still in the fight? It's not a fight. It's definitely not a fight. This house is the only thing still in it, so it's getting targeted by everything. Yeah, I think that's going to die very, very soon. Oh, that missile bounced. I've got to say, these missiles are not the best suited for this kind of work. I think I need some kind of dedicated system that will hunt unarmed targets. Which is kind of a horrible thing to say, I know, but yeah. I do need some kind of system that will hunt unarmed targets. And be good at it. Because these missiles definitely aren't. Oh, I don't know. Okay, let's move out then. There are some weaker defensive forces, only strength 10 or so, in these 3 zones. But I'm not going to bother with them. Just pull my force out. And then move on to this resource zone, which is almost entirely regenerated in the time I've been gone. And that about does it for this episode. We should be hitting roughly the 30-minute mark. So I'll just get back down to this resource zone. My Locust running around at 12, but it's cutting across that land for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, off-camera plans. Goal setting. I've noticed that, yeah, look at that. The resource zone is also almost completely regenerated in the time I've been gone. I'm not ready to make a step to getting full-strength fortresses or things like that. Is it going over land? I think it is, yeah. Altitude 6. I'm not going to make the step to fortresses because that's against the entire theme of this particular playthrough. Though I have just done some serious damage around Eriwick. But my plan is now... Yeah, look at that. It's already been completely drained just because I stopped in it. Such is the power of the harvesting units I've got on the Locust. Okay, yeah. Let's put this back into play and have a quick look at it. I have a couple of plans going forward on things I'm going to do with this ship. If I had the camera attached to it. Right. I'm planning to upgrade the ship with gun turrets next. That's my next big plan for it. There will be an artillery cannon on the front, forward facing, a spinal mounted weapon. Have some play in it, so it's kind of like a super heavy weapon. Super heavy tank destroyer type thing. Which I'm planning to use for breaking open fortresses and big ships and things like that. And I'm planning to include some secondary turrets further back, which will have elevation barrels fitted, and they'll function as more of an anti-aircraft weapon more than anything else. So that's my plans for the next upgrade for offensive purposes. But having noticed how my Locust was moving around, I'm thinking more of a utility upgrade is in order. Because look at all these things it's got on the back here. It's got all that, and it's only moving around 12. If I want to be effective in harvesting all of these resource points using just this ship, I need it to be a bit more mobile. So I'm thinking maybe I should work on a upgrade which will let it move around a lot faster. So that means a serious propulsion improvement. And I don't think it's ready for a later conversion, which I do have planned for it, but a massive jet engine to provide much more thrust to it while it moves, and also streamlining the front of it rather than having this big block as it is now is also on the cards. I was planning to do that as part of the siege cannon upgrade, but yeah, it's things to think about. And that's really my plans for off-camera work. I'm going to fit some upgrades to it. Though exactly which upgrades, I don't know. I was thinking of doing the siege cannon actually in the next video, so I think I'll leave that to the next video. And off-camera, I'll work on this design and get it faster, so that it can actually move around more readily. So yeah, that'll be it. This has been Iron Mark III, and thank you for watching. Next time when I come back, this ship should be able to actually move around. Which is scary, I know, but there you go. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.